Buckle up for another episode of Ghostfacers, a supernatural rewatch podcast. My name is Richard, and sitting shotgun as always is my brother in podcasting, Reed.
Richard?
Yeah.
I knew that was you.
Yeah, that's me.
I'm back.
You're sure you're back from where?
Well, you're back, but now I'm here.
I'm back? Wait, hold on. When am I back from?
Well, I was with my other podcast partner, but I saw you through the window. And now I'm just a guy standing in a bar across from his old podcast partner. And that's it. That's all I got so far.
Wow, I hate this.
I mean, that's generally the consensus, I think.
I want to go back to thinking about our podcasts rather than seeing it. You know, I don't want either of them. Let's get into it.
Ghostfacers! We're facing ghosts, but others will not. We're Ghostfacers! Stay in the kitchen when the kitchen gets hot. Ghostfacers! We're facing nightmare, we're facing dread. Ghostfacers! We're facing faceless, we're facing dead.
Welcome to Ghostfacers. Today we're discussing Season 8, Episode 9, Citizen Fang.
Yeah. Roseblood.
Oh, yeah, fuck.
Hell yeah.
Oh, my God. I didn't know he was going to pull it off.
A joke that doesn't get made in this episode.
No. Also, is there a connection to Citizen Kane in this? Like, what's the connection?
I guess I'm just going to reveal how little I remember about Citizen Kane.
I've never seen it. I'm going to be honest.
I don't really think there is.
Yeah, is it
Citizen Kane is about like a
Someone's
wealthy
past, I guess?
media tycoon reflecting on like when he still retained some humanity and
That's...
love and stuff. I suppose in that sense,
But, like,
but we're
broadest...
really stretching.
Like, this is some fucking...
It was more like they wrote this episode and they were like, Citizen Fang?
Someone wrote that down and was like, we'll come up with a new one.
Sure.
Yeah. And then they never did.
You know, yeah, I'm sure someone could make a stretch of a comparison between the sled and the great-granddaughter. No.
Wow.
No.
Everybody wants a ride.
No. No. Not what I meant.
You knew it as you said it.
You people are fucking disgusting.
Some might say there's a comparison between a woman and a sled.
I wouldn't say that,
Yeah,
of
but
course.
someone might. From a certain point of view. This episode aired December 5th.
Okay.
We're in December now, baby.
Yeah.
2012. Written by Daniel Laughlin.
Oh my God, they've gone their separate ways.
This is the first episode officially written by
Did
Daniel
something
Laughlin,
happen?
who previously co-wrote 16 episodes.
Did they
with Andrew
writers
Dowd.
divorce?
Or they got writers promoted. They don't have to.
No, I think there was some beef.
You know who fucking didn't get writers promoted? Eugenia Ross Fleming.
They're consulting producers. I think they're doing all right.
Yeah, I guess so. Directed by Nick Kopus.
Yeah. Well, that's when you've got a lot of Nick. I've got copious
Amounts of Nick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some might say too much Nick.
Yeah.
Viewed by an estimated
1.9. I'm assuming we're going down.
2
Point. Or it's another inexplicable jump. 2.8.
2.99. No.
Oh my God. I was like, no.
2.06.
All right. Okay.
Back up slightly.
Respectable.
Yeah. Let's see. Last week, I was expecting a bad promo.
Yeah, we got a great promo, actually, last week.
But what are they going to do with this episode?
Oh, I'm sure it'll be tasteful.
What? Did you say tasteful?
I love the full-bodied taste of
A full body.
of this red wine that I'm making at home. Would you like to try? Like, ugh, Jesus, no, Drag.
I'm going to slay this woman.
Oh, no, never mind. No double entendre there. Oops. Oopsie doopsie.
Whoopsie doopsies. All right, let's hear it. Jesus Christ, I got whiplash from that.
It's funny that we were watching a promo that wasn't on the CW.
CHCH.
And I can't tell if maybe... I mean, I assume it's the same promo, just gets played on different affiliates.
Yeah.
But for some reason, it being on CHCH made it feel cheaper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was...
CHCH is the Hamilton station for those near Canada.
It was so fast, too.
It was. But it was like, the stuff was like, vampires. Like, oh my God, someone's dying. But then the music's like...
I wonder, if there's different promos, but I think that might have been the promo for that episode. Weird.
It's very weird.
But time for international titles.
Okay.
So the episode, obviously, as we've already referenced, is a reference to the 1941 American film Citizen Kane.
Yeah.
Not Citizen Kang. Like
No.
The Simpsons have once provided us.
Yes, that's right.
We've got 2 titles.
Okay.
First title is the German title.
German title. I think it's called My Great Grandfather Was My Busboy.
What?
Well, that's kind of what he's doing, right? He's sort of bussing at the. He's bussing at the diner.
Is he? I thought he was.
I don't
a
know.
Cook. He's a short order cook.
Is he? I don't think I saw
Yeah,
him
they said
cook.
that he was tossing hash and like.
Oh yeah, I just don't really see him wiping shit when we actually go to the diner.
Tossing hash and
Yeah. Well, no, he was selling weed.
smashing
That's what it is.
cash.
You know me, Dean. Tossing hash.
Smashing ass is what I should have said, but
I mean, I'm
it's less vile.
more disgusted than you said cash.
I do love that word because it's so awful.
No, I don't. No, everything I'm coming up with has
It's
too
the
much personality.
It's the most obvious thing. It's so
Martin's Revenge.
You're on the right page.
Oh, okay. Back in the saddle, like something.
No,
about,
that's too vague.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Something so on the point that
Yeah.
it's like this is what the episode is.
Yeah, Martin can handle this.
It's Hunt for Benny.
Wow.
Yep. Jacques,
This week on Triple D, we're hunting for the best Eggs Benny in Louisiana.
CHCH.
That's
That's what that guitar reminded me of.
Yeah.
That's really good. Yeah, the best steaks.
Yeah. Sam, Dean, I'm going to need you to hop on the Express A train to Flavortown. Because a guy's throat just got ripped out.
It's delicious.
Yeah.
Whoa, this steak is
I was drinking his
protest-
blood, or as I call it, donkey sauce.
Okay, Hungarian title.
Sure.
The Hungarian title is classic
For
Hungarian.
Citizen Fang.
Yeah.
It's a classic Hungary,
Yeah.
meaning it's so vague it could be any episode.
Or
Or it's horrifyingly racist.
no. Or
or it's so specific that it's the wrong episode.
or
Okay.
it's just bug nuts.
Okay. Or just it's just a bug nuts one.
Yeah.
Huh? Oh shit.
I mean, it technically like not really.
okay.
I know where the word comes from, but it's not good.
Okay. A bug nuts one. I'm gonna say it's Dine and Slash. Oh, that would be good actually.
Yeah, that's too good. What are you
I'm
doing?
sorry, I can't turn it off.
I mean, truly, it's just spraying everywhere.
Yeah, sorry.
I'm covered in it.
So what is the Hungarian title then?
I need to. Okay, yeah, it's just weird. I was like, sometimes I'll double check Google Translate
translation,
just to
right.
be like, what does Google Translate say? No,
Yeah.
it's still no, it's still crazy.
Gotcha.
It's help, comma asylum.
I know I know why.
yeah.
I know why, but get your shit together, Hungary. Help, asylum.
Yeah. Also, the word for asylum in the Hungarian language is 15 letters long.
Oh my god.
I don't even know how to. It's ELMEGYOGYINTEZET.
Okay, hang on, I gotta look at this. Here we go. Oh, I typed in asylum in Hungarian, and then the first thing that came up was the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees. Said
The best is just do
how
English
to
to
seek asylum
Hungarian.
in Hungary. I know, but normally this is just asylum. English to
All right, Grandpa.
Hungarian. Oh my god.
Isn't that crazy?
It's Menedikyog?
No. So this is technically it's mental institution, but I'm assuming it's like a short form for it.
Oh. Yeah, Jesus. Good Lord.
It's Elmagigagigadzadz.
Did I ever tell you that I've years ago at a family function,
Uh-oh.
one of my aunts,
Mm-hmm.
her parents are Romanian,
Okay.
like from the old country.
Okay.
And at some point, I was a lot younger, and I was talking about
That's usually how time works.
fuck you. I was talking about places I wanted to travel, and I've always wanted to like travel up and down the Danube and stuff. And I hear
Sure.
that there are parts of Hungary that are quite beautiful. And I was saying this at this family gathering, and this relative, my aunt's father, all of a sudden super animated and just goes, "Never trust a Hungarian."
What?
Like it activated, like the Manchurian Candidate.
Whoa, you triggered.
Went, "Never trust a Hungarian." And we were like, "Why?" And you just kind of just sat down and like, I never really
Back
followed
into
up
a comatose state.
I didn't really follow up on that because I also
didn't want to
didn't
know.
overly want to. But yeah, every time Hungary comes up, which is every episode, a little part of me
Says never
Goes-
trust a Hungarian.
yeah, no, it's not that I think of that memory, it's that I don't trust them. Yeah.
Help! Asylum!
No, that's a trap.
I do like that it's help, comma, asylum, exclamation point.
Yeah.
Help!
It-
Asylum!
Yeah, well, you don't want to just go to a help asylum.
Oh, sure, yeah.
You want
yeah.
help.
Asylum. Which is like, are you asking for asylum?
Or are you asking for two things, like, or synonyms? I need help. Asylum, even.
Yeah, like that's yeah.
yeah.
Or are you asking for an asylum, like a mental asylum?
Or are you asking help of the building?
Yes.
An asylum. Like, help, asylum.
Yes.
Come over here.
Yeah. And it's like, I'm a building,
Shit.
but
I
I am
belong here.
but I am talking.
Oh, no. I belong here. The
As long-
building.
As long as I don't answer myself.
Yeah. No, it's okay, man. You're still just a building. You're all right.
No, you're not. Oh, no, I do
no.
belong here. I do belong me.
And now we, like Hungary, have lost the plot.
Absolutely. Never. Featured music from this episode. Born on the Bayou by Cleedence Clearwater Revival.
By Cleedence Clearwater.
Cleedence Clearwater Revival.
Yeah, nice.
Feel All Right by Steve Earle.
Yeah.
And That Old Familiar Pain by Marlon James.
Yeah.
TV Guide describes this episode very simply as Dean comes to Benny's defense when it appears that a vampire is responsible for some deaths.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. And, fucking Martin's in this.
We asked for him back. Not like
this.
But before we talk about today's episode, why don't we open up Dad's journal and learn about some of the real world lore?
Let's see what the lore says about presumption of death.
Oh, presumption of death.
Yeah. I was getting hung up because it's another vampire episode
That you should do a vampire-y thing.
that I should find more lore from that, and then you very wisely steered me towards the flashbacks I've been ignoring for 10 episodes.
Let's see what the episode says about draining men. I'm draining men.
Hey.
Hallelujah.
Gulp. Hallelujah.
I'm draining men. It's ball raining, man.
No, listen, I did that tastefully.
When I'm ball raining, man, I'm doing it tastefully. Tasting every fucking drop.
Jesus.
So
is now the time to explain the difference between tastefully and tasting it fully?
I think it's pretty understandable.
Because I'm willing to teach you that lesson.
Please.
Oh my god. Oh, he called my bluff and now I'm sort of into it.
Is this happening?
Oh my god. Or will they, won't they?
They will.
They won't.
They would.
All right. Presumption of death.
Okay.
Not like a very fun thing to talk about, but you only presume death when you can't prove it, right? So this is a thing that
Dead until proven live.
well, it's actually generally the opposite.
Live until proven dead.
For the most part.
Like in military shit?
And just life, you know,
Oh.
like people go missing or stuff like that. You can't, people don't get just declared dead.
Even after the first 48?
Even after that.
Wow.
That's like, that thing is like, statistically, are you likely to find someone? Like all that kind of very grim stuff. But that's not the same as definitively
Sure.
declaring
Scientific death.
You know, you generally need a body for that. Now, of course, in some instances, you won't find one. So every country has a sort of different approach to dealing with the declaration of death for someone that is not there, where you just have to presume that it has happened.
Sure.
So there's a couple of different approaches and things that I found a little interesting. So in Germany, as you might imagine, pretty specific, down to like by type of situation.
Oh.
So general disappearance. You can't declare someone dead if they just generally disappeared until 10 years from the end of the year with the last sign of life.
Oh.
So if the last sign of me was in August of this year, it wouldn't be 10 years from August. It would be 10 years from the end of this year. And then you could be like, there's been no additional sign of life.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But if I disappeared in August, 3 years from now, they found one thing that was like, that's a sign of life.
Oh.
It's another 10 years. So that's how Germany does that.
It's also interesting that the statute of limitations is also 10 years. Oh, no.
Well, they also say it's 5 years for persons older than 80 because they're just like, listen, let's be reasonable. That's,
cut our losses.
for seafaring or ships sinking, it's 6 months after sinking or other event causing the disappearance. For example, gone overboard or whatever. In a plane crash, it's 3 months after the crash. And other disappearance under life-threatening circumstances, it's 1 year from the end of the mortal danger. I don't know what that means. Maybe that's not just like disappear. Maybe that's like a kidnapping or something like that.
Sure.
You know what I mean? But at any rate, Germany has these very kind of specific things broken down.
I'm surprised that the ship crash one is so long.
I think it's because it can take so long to find.
I know, but that semen can only last 15 or 30 seconds outside of the body.
I'm furious.
That's
a good joke. That's mostly why I'm mad.
Yeah, I know. You never like when I get a good one. So Germany's got some specific ones.
Jeez Louise. So in Poland, they have a couple of extra and different rules. So one is no one can be declared dead prior to the end of the year in which they turn or would turn 23.
Okay.
So like if a child goes missing, there's no version of that where without knowing for a fact that the kid is dead, they would declare a child dead.
Wow, okay.
In China, I believe it's if someone goes missing during a period of war, then whatever the statute of time is, it doesn't start until the end of the war.
Whoa.
Because there's a presumption that you might be a POW or something like that.
Okay.
So, like, every country kind of sets these different sort of bars for it. The reason that any of this is there is because there are legal ramifications to death. Even though we mostly focus on the emotional toil and stuff like that, there are legal ramifications about personal property, about guardianship or custodianship of children, about finances, about all of these kind of things. And so you don't want someone to just like lose their phone on a long road trip and be declared dead. You have to have rules in place that prevent
fair.
shit like that. There are some places. I'm trying to find. I think some of them are maybe even in the States, where if you were declared dead and then you showed up, so let's say whatever amount of time passed and then you did show up and you prove you're you and all that kind of stuff, that those things that were divested or your estate kind of divvied up, in some cases they're required to give it back.
Oh, wow.
Right? Because you weren't I mean, that becomes tricky at a certain point.
Yeah.
But there are certain states, certain areas where it becomes like then a duty to like,
especially if assets have been like liquidated or something. Yeah.
Totally, it becomes very, very tricky.
Yeah,
and I'm sure there are some things that even then are kind of like we can't really do that for you.
Sure,
but there are some kind of provisions that way.
Sir, under the snooze you lose clause.
Yeah, possession is 9/10 of the.
This is the 10th.
Oh, sorry. Hang on. Where are we here?
So.
So in general, these things are there like to sort of it to be honest, they're mostly there to deal with legal things.
Sure.
You kind of hate to frame it that way because it just outlines how much our whole society is just built on who owns what.
Yes,
including
possession.
Who owns the right to raise a kid, or who owns the so many of those things are technically come down to those things, whether or not they're important.
Yeah,
that's the structure of everything, and so that's the setup. Now, there are some instances where those like statutes, those things that I said, if a plane crash, they say 3 months. There are some where you don't have to wait 3 months.
Sure.
I think it might be the States or it might be the UK. Some of them have like if you can basically like reasonably conclude. So if a plane disappears or crashes in the ocean, you can't find it, like the Malaysia Air thing.
Yeah.
That's we'll take the full 6 months, please, or 3 months or whatever, But if a plane crashes and you maybe find the wreckage or where it crashed and it's like in the mountains and no one can get there, and then you get there and you can't confirm that a person is among it, you might still be declared dead because it's reasonable to assume you are in there.
Sure.
So there's all sorts of very kind of like the laws around the status of your death are like extremely complicated. Within Canada and the United States, they even vary like province and state to province and state. So really kind of weird, specific, very grim sort of area of research. But yeah, sort of interesting to see how it's broken down in different places. It's
crazy that how many planes have gone missing and never found.
Yeah, I mean that Malaysia Air one really stands out for me because that one I think it's maybe the first high-profile one I really paid attention to or something, but I was like, what do you mean you can't find it? Like, planes have trackers. It's the 21st century. There's GPS everywhere. Like, how could you possibly not know?
People really need to stop going through the Bermuda Triangle. Whether spookiness aside, most of the flights are through the Bermuda Triangle.
I think it's very fair to say it doesn't really matter if it's supernatural or not. There's some anomaly there that was not accounted for.
Like of
A
the
weather thing or a
like
weird formation or a jet stream thing that like fucks with how
Yeah.
you fly or something, you know?
like I just looked up a thing of like plane disappearances, and there's like 1, 2, 3, 4,
okay, but
5 of them were in the Bermuda Triangle.
but now here's a question.
Yeah.
Because the other piece of this is what kinds of planes? Because Bermuda, like, are these all just people taking off in their little prop planes? Be like, I know how to fly, and they're just not qualified to fly in certain climate.
I hear what you're
or
saying.
stuff
No, it's like
that.
British South American Airways. Weird that there's 2 in a row.
Yeah, maybe don't fly British
Flight
South American.
19, which I'm assuming.
So
is,
these aren't just like people's like.
no.
Oh, okay. Well, there goes that theory.
British South American Airways. Yeah.
Yeah. The only thing they had in common is they were all looking for Isla de los Muertos. Really, right?
They're all looking for the golden
They were,
city.
yeah, they were all trying to return their stolen Aztec coins.
Yeah. No, but it is weird.
Yeah.
Just stop going over there. Also, I don't like talking about this because I'm literally in like 2 days about to fly across the ocean.
Not via the Bermuda Triangle.
Still, the ocean.
Name one person who's disappeared over the Pacific. Amelia Earhart.
Yeah.
I defy you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure it's fine.
It's fine.
Here's a comforting thing to think about.
Uh-huh.
There's nothing in between here and there.
Fuck you. You're such an asshole.
So like there's no like anomalies, right? There's nothing between here and there. So if what you were worried about is that they'll get confused
Nope.
or something will like throw them off, don't worry. There is nothing between here and there.
What's the problem?
That should help you. So whenever you're flying, I want you to think about that.
Right. Okay. We'll be right back after this break. And we're back.
Nothing.
All right. He did wait that whole time. And longer. We begin with the then.
Yeah.
Martin is crazy.
Yeah.
Amelia lost her husband,
Cool.
but he came back.
Cool.
Benny.
Benny.
And Sam wants Benny dead.
Yeah, and like I don't know. I'm really torn on my feeling about this. Sam should be angry,
Yeah.
especially because of the Amy thing.
Yep.
And I don't think he's wrong.
But the way
But also like but it feels out of character to me for Sam to be like, and I'm so angry, I'll abandon my principles,
Sure.
one of which is that some monsters can change and be
Yes.
good.
Yes.
So, like, the anger thing is one piece, but then the other piece is, so now do you not believe in this anymore? And that bothers me. I think it feels fundamentally wrong. And right off the bat with the then, I'm just like, what is Sam doing?
I mean, it is also
It's like
indicative
Dean
of-
vouched for, but he got me out of purgatory. I trust him. That is more cred than any of the other monsters they were ready to vouch for
Totally.
ever got. And Sam's like, well, I might be the one to kill him.
Yeah. Also, not a demon, not like
You know what I mean? It's just a vamp, you
Yeah,
know, like,
yeah.
and it's
pretty low stakes for them.
relatively, you know, like, yeah. At any rate, I just want to throw that out there because it's been eaten at me a little bit. Because I felt conflicted. Like, Sam's right to be mad, but for some reason I'm like, "What? Look what it's turning you into." I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't like this.
Yeah. I mean, gosh, that's the rest of the show. But
Well, yeah.
We get to the now. Benny Lafayette.
Oh my God.
Or is it Lafitte? What is it?
Well,
Is it Lafayette?
Lafayette.
Okay. It just wasn't written that way.
Well, how's it spelled?
Lafitte.
Well, it's probably Lafitte then. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I just wanted it to be Lafayette
Yeah.
because of True Blood.
Yeah. I was just thinking because of
Because of the
yeah.
implication. I'm gonna do bad things to you.
When you came in, the air went out.
Sucky.
Oh, man. I fucking love
That first season.
it's so goddamn good.
That first season is perfect.
Impossibly good.
It's so impossible they couldn't make any more of that
Yeah,
show.
I mean, like, literally, it was
Yeah.
impossibly good. They never reproduced it.
No.
Yeah.
Benny is working a late night at a small Cajun diner in Karen Crow, Louisiana.
They say it like 4 times in the episode.
I wasn't listening.
Oh, nice, yeah.
The name of the diner Benny works at is named after Guidry's Ron Guidry.
This is going really well.
I'm really good at pronouncing things and speaking and reading.
I mean, can we not assume it's like Guidry's
or Guidry?
Guidry's or something?
It's Guidry.
Yeah, like I'd say Guidry probably,
Sure.
but like I'm just trying to anticipate the fact that there's some sort of French Acadian
Well, I
kind
know.
of like
So this was the pitcher for the New York Yankees, nicknamed Louisiana Lightning.
oh, that's fun.
After his
Why it's Louisiana Lightning?
nice.
You go green lightning, go get down the quarter mile.
That's fucking good. After his coworker Elizabeth leaves, one of the customers asks about her. Benny tells him that Elizabeth is like a little sister to him.
Yeah.
And the guy said, nice.
Yeah. So,
Oh, that's real nice.
I mean, this guy goes, so do you mind if I take a shot at
It's
it?
like a
Which is-
3-tooth, like 70-year-old man.
Which is its
after
own,
like the hottest fucking
which is its own
waitress.
thing. But it's also like, hey, do you got designs on her? No, she's like a sister. Oh, sorry. Well, in that case, can I fuck your sister?
Yeah.
It's basically what that exchange was.
Also, like, this Louisiana, so does that mean you're not going to
I'm
for
going to
it?
need you to be clearer than that.
Yeah. Because I won't be in there like a gator inside a swamp.
Jesus Christ.
Another customer asks for a refill on his coffee, and Benny obliges. He doesn't recognize him, but
we do.
It's Martin Creaser, baby.
It's Martin Creaser.
I
What a
barely
dirtbag
I
name.
barely know her. A hunter that Dean Winchester and Sam have worked with before.
Yeah. Fucking Martin.
I know. We liked Martin.
I did.
I know.
I did,
I
but
know.
he's like off the deep end.
I know. He doesn't.
Actually, the problem is that he's not off the deep end. He's just a hunter.
Yeah. Before he was like sweet and
Yeah. But now he's just The problem is he's just like all that type. Hunters, that is.
all that type.
Oh, I see.
Another he doesn't. Anyways, later Benny closes the diner alone, walks home through the woods. Martin follows, but loses track of him for a moment, and then hears a scream. He pulls out a machete, starts running, but trips over and falls next to a dead body.
Yeah.
It's another customer from the diner with his neck torn
It's
apart.
the guy. It's the guy that was like,
It's
"Can I
a
fuck your
sister fucker,"
sister.
yeah. The next day, Martin calls Sam, who tells him not to do anything about Benny yet. He then admits to Dean that he's...
Well, because Sam's just on the phone, and then Dean's like, "What was that?"
And he's like, we
And
gotta
Sam's
go
like,
kill
"There's
a vampire.
There's a vampire in Louisiana. Don't ask more questions.
It's
I'm sure I could put off telling you about this somehow.
such an uncomfortable scene.
I mean, which I think is good.
No. Yeah. It's
I
intentional.
think it's strong.
It's so uncomfortable because I'm
Yes.
just like, oh God, no.
Everything about it. Yeah.
I hated it so much because it's just like, well, then, like, what hunter? Who? Martin? Crazy Martin?
Yeah. I mean, like, who even got Martin hunting again? And Sam's like, I did.
Gina.
Yeah. And then Dean's like, what? And he's like, I've had him tailing. You know how I said I didn't trust Benny? Well, I put the most unhinged, ill-informed hunter we know.
Only just because the two other hunters died because one turned into a vampire and killed the other one. So the remaining crazy hunter.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I put him on surveillance duty. He's not supposed
could
to
go
do
wrong?
anything. And he's only been crazy for 20 years. I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah.
I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt. Unlike Benny, who saved you from purgatory.
Yeah.
Definitively.
But this guy who is said mostly okay.
This is what like, Jesus, Sam. Get your shit together.
But
it's because Sam's just a jealous bitch.
Truly. They drive down to Karen Crow and meet Martin at his motel room.
Yeah, and Martin's like, I fucking got him. I nailed this son of a bitch.
When Dean learns that Martin didn't actually see Benny kill anybody,
Yeah.
he's reluctant to believe the word of his friend.
Which, totally reasonable position for Dean.
Yeah.
But I feel like Dean could also play this smarter. Like, he knows the temperature of this room.
Well, and hunters in general.
But also, he's had this argument with Sam already.
Yeah.
He knows the temperature of this room.
Yeah.
And so if Sam is the one that got Martin on this, Sam has not primed him with Dean's empathy. You know what I mean? So Dean has to come in and be like, okay, that all sounds pretty bad. I will deal with it. He should just say, I will deal with it. Like, what he does here is like, give me time. No, you didn't see anything. Like, I think he's right to feel that way, but Dean has to play this like 1,000 times smarter than he does.
I mean, yeah, but he basically he's like, just give me like 2 hours, which I don't think is enough time, but he's like, give me 2 hours.
When have they ever solved a thing in 2 hours?
Like, it usually takes days to like solve
2
something.
hours. You want Benny to die?
But he's like, just give me a couple hours to figure this out, and then we'll make a decision based on that. Right? He says that he can't believe. Martin wants to kill Benny anyways, and Sam denies him. He's even just like, well, we're gonna leave. We're gonna leave a second.
Like, a Winchester defending a vamp. Like Martin is sounding like an old like segregationist.
Yes.
You know, like there's a real first act of Remember the Titans kind of vibe to Martin.
Yeah. He says that he can't believe Dean would trust a vampire, and Sam says that it's not always easy to see things clearly, which is funny coming from Sam.
But also, like, we're so close
to what he used to be like.
To Sam's actual, like, real character and ethos. But for some reason, we have to make this fake architecture of outrage for them this season. That's just...
Speaking of complicated things, Sam remembers a moment with Amelia back at their home.
And does he remember it? Because...
In Kermit, Texas, they had just learned that her husband Don is still alive.
Oh, howdy!
And
that wasn't Kermit.
Oh, howdy!
Hang on.
Oh, howdy!
Hey there, howdy!
Yeah.
No.
Kermit, Texas, the frog.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Hang on. I could get there. What would Texas Kermit?
Let him cook.
What would Texas Kermit sound like?
Gonzo the Great in the electric chair.
Guns are great.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's Gonzo from Texas.
Yeah.
Gonzo the Great. Jesus.
So they had just learned about that Don was alive, and Sam has...
Yeah, so it's like a day later. So again... We're never going to see his quote normal life that he had for a year, he said.
No.
Get fucked.
Close. Sam had asked her what her plan, what she had planned to say to him, and she's conflicted, so he makes a plea for their relationship, saying that he didn't want to give up on them.
But I just want to be clear. I actually think this scene is pretty nice. I think they play it really well.
It's the right approach.
And I think Sam's really good in this scene. You know, it's a weird situation, and he's being very, like...
He's like, I know what the good thing is, but I don't want to do the good thing.
Well, I mean, but it's all said very sweetly. He's like, you take all the time you need, but, like, also, like, this is good, and I'm not ready to just, like, move out of the way, even though that feels like that was the right thing to do. Like, it's all actually very sweet. I like what is happening in this scene. I just hate
this relationship.
I just hate this relationship, and I just hate this, like, structural setup we've got so far this season. So, but I actually think this scene is pretty good.
You also hate when two people in a relationship take their time with it. Like dilly-dally around a thing that people should do.
I name 3 examples.
I can easily do that.
What? Oh, sorry. Are you going to put that forward like you were in the right?
Or how about an engagement?
I was right.
Should I continue?
I said 3 examples.
Anyways, Dean's
There
first...
is nothing between us and Japan.
Yeah.
And I mean that both in the thalassophobic way.
Yeah.
And
no.
also the, like...
Jesus, what? What does that even mean? Oh my God. Like Canada? Like, I don't even know where that's coming from.
Hey, Siri.
Yeah.
Hey, Siri. Remind me to...
No, you don't.
Remind me
No.
to take out
Dean's
what I said
first
there.
stop is the diner where he meets Elizabeth. He orders a piece of pecan pie, but they're out. That's crazy, that thing you just said about Japan. So he asks her where he can find Roy, much like what you were trying to find to edit in the podcast.
Yeah. Which is fine.
It's not. That's crazy thing you said about Japan.
It's going great.
What was it about that you said?
Absolutely nothing. I dare you.
She tells him that Roy has been I'm going to make it impossible to edit
To
this out.
listen to this.
Well,
Yeah.
I care less about that, and I care more about you not being able to edit out the thing you edited out.
I'm a lot better at editing than you think I am. The number of episodes that if you went back and listened, you wouldn't know that I had edited them.
I also will never listen to them, so I guess we both lose.
I mean, I think I win.
No, we both win.
Well, sorry.
The listeners lose.
Yeah. We should figure this out more.
Yeah.
Let's put this episode aside.
Yeah. No. If we didn't have to record one more,
Oh, yeah, that's true.
she tells him that Roy has been parking his camper in a more remote spot in the last few days, if you know what I mean.
It's not a double entendre.
Dean flirting.
He's been parking his camper in a more remote spot. Jesus Christ. What a vile image. Let's just say he's been parking his camper in a more remote spot. That is the vilest thing you've said in a while.
There's no way that's true.
In a while.
What does a while mean? Last week.
Yeah.
Dean flirting gives her his phone number and asks her to call if Roy shows up.
Or just
If you want to park at a more remote spot.
Yeah.
On
Jesus.
his way to find Benny, he tries to call him, but Benny doesn't answer. Eventually, he comes... Oh, sorry, what? What were you going to say? Uh-huh.
I was just going to say, it makes me feel gross about the word off-roading.
Oh. He's going to go mudding.
4x4.
Oh, no. They say 2 in the front, 2 in the back.
Jesus.
All-wheel drive.
I mean, I don't even know what this means anymore, but it's all gross.
Yeah. Let's go back to the Pearl Harbor thing.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm. Eventually, he comes...
I've put it in a previous episode.
That's just crazy. Eventually, more like a remote episode. He eventually he comes upon Benny washing his hands from blood, and he holding a machete behind his back.
Mm-hmm.
He asks Benny what's going on. Benny tells him that he's just buried the second victim of a rogue vampire named Desmond.
What a douche name. You know that's a bad like Benny. What a great name for a friendly vampire.
Desmond.
Ugh. That sounds like a true blood douche.
Yeah, or an Australian runner you can't trust.
Oh, yeah, was that his? Yeah, that's right.
Lost.
Yeah, what's in the hatch?
Yeah, what's in the hatch?
Yeah.
Desmond wants Benny to join his new nest and give him credibility, but Benny refused.
Yeah.
So Desmond's killing Messi in an attempt to attract hunters and force Benny's hand.
Yeah, and like deliberately like to pin it on Benny. Yeah.
Benny doesn't want to be driven out of his hometown of Carencrow and away from his great-granddaughter.
Yeah.
Elizabeth.
I like this. You know, Benny's like, I finally came back to my hometown after all that's happened. And, you know, he talks about Elizabeth as being like,
Keeps him honest.
I think there's like a good like addiction kind of thing in here where he's talking about like, I want to do better for her.
My family.
Like, it's tough, but I feel like I have a handle on this. Is because I want to be there for her. She doesn't know who I am, but like that's irrelevant, you know, like that sort of thing. And I really like that. I think it's really kind of nice. And even Dean is like, oh, you're from here? That's pretty cool or whatever. But yeah.
And he's Dean.
But Dean is also like, oh, your great granddaughter.
I do like this moment.
Nice.
Where
And Benny's like, wait, you didn't? He's like, nothing.
I do like that moment.
It's pretty
because it's also like bros too, where
Yeah.
it's like, hey, that's my daughter. Like,
yeah, my great granddaughter.
yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't park your RV in or some remote spot, did you? I'm a vampire now. It's not blood.
Jesus.
Dean tells him
Good Lord.
to wait while he convinces Sam and Martin to go after Desmond instead.
Yeah.
Back at Martin's motel, Dean tries unsuccessfully to convince Sam and Martin that Benny's innocent. Eventually, Martin knocks Dean unconscious with the butt of his knife.
Yeah. We've seen them do it before, but I always feel like that's a weird punch move, you know, because he's like holding the knife like this and then punching to hit.
Yeah,
with
it'd be
the
one thing if
butt.
he just went like clunk,
you know, but
from
he's
the top.
like doing it like a punch.
Yeah.
And then when we cut to him, he has his fingers over it. It's like, well, those got moved later because you'd break your fucking knuckle if
Well, that's
you
the
did it
thing,
like
yeah.
that. So it means you're doing it like this, but I'd be worried about like, like
Yeah,
cutting yourself.
yeah.
Like, it's just a weird move. I agree. It feels like it should be like overhand, like,
Yeah.
yeah.
But then also just like punch him or something. Like,
Yeah, something about it.
or hit him with the butt of a gun, which is more of the thing you would do.
Something about it's very weird to me. But yeah, like Martin's, yeah, he's maybe a little too gung-ho about this.
Totally. Sam isn't happy, but still leaves with Martin after handcuffing
Martin's like, your
Dean.
dad would have beat the shit out of you.
Oh, he
I
crosses
wish
the
I
line.
could. I wish I could beat the shit out of you. And then Sam, like, you know,
It's just like, just calm the
Yeah.
fuck down. He's like, you
Yeah.
already just crossed the line. Like, I can beat the shit out of my brother, not you.
Yeah.
And now you're talking like you're our father. Like,
who I still hate, by the
yes,
way.
like,
yeah,
like
Yeah.
you are too many fucking steps past the fucking threshold at this point.
Yeah, exactly.
And Sam flashes back to the moment that he met Don in the town bar.
Yeah, which actually has nothing to do with any of this. But,
Nope.
But that's which is fine. But then why is like he just what like was he? He's like looking at like a door jam, and he's like, and then there's like you just cut to a door jam in the bar. You go, really?
I remember when I jammed my door in Amelia.
Easy.
So
This guy walks up, who's very obviously military, but Sam would
annihilate this man.
Sam would destroy this guy.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, don't worry, I'm not here to fight. It's like, there's
No
no way
one's-
Sam is worried about that.
Yeah, absolutely not.
Sam would wreck your shit.
Then he leaves after buying Sam a drink, but they basically are just like,
But Don essentially is just like,
what do we-
Amelia is the only one that knows.
which is actually a good thing. He's like, Amelia has
He's
to
very
decide.
well adjusted considering he was not only in war, but was
POW.
a POW. Like, he's a remarkably well adjusted man. He's
Way
just like,
more calm and like level-headed than Sam.
totally. He's like, Amelia's going to make her choice. I'm going to respect whatever she chooses. Do you also agree? And Sam's like, yeah, obviously. And then Don's like, yeah, cool. And he like leaves some money. He goes, he's going to need another drink or whatever.
Sure.
You know, it's a weird, bad situation.
Yep.
It's not a bad little scene, but again, it's just like,
Why?
What are we doing?
Yeah. To what end?
Who gives a shit?
After Sam and Martin leave, Dean wakes up and picks the handcuffs restraining him. He then calls Benny to tell him to lay low and avoid Sam while he takes care of Desmond. I do like this moment because Benny's just like, I think I could take your brother. And he's like, do not underestimate Sam. He's like,
Yeah, because Benny says something a bit like,
I'm
yeah,
not
your little brother doesn't exactly send a shiver up my spine
Yes.
or whatever. And Dean's like he will ruin your life.
Yeah, like
you know,
like we're all fun and games, but like he is as good as me, and
yes,
like,
and he hates you.
yes,
Yeah, because I kind of talk about you a lot.
yeah. I didn't realize this was something.
Have we already done the? I think we already have done the scene where Dean is like, Benny has never let me down.
Yeah, I mean, it is a good moment.
And Sam's like, oh, isn't that nice? And
yeah.
Dean's like, well,
As somebody who's close to me, it's surprising when they don't let me down.
yeah.
So Benny knows where Desmond is and won't let Dean go after him alone. So he'll have to help him kill him.
Yeah.
Benny is gone from his campsite by the time that Sam and Martin find it. Martin sees a picture on the ground of Benny and Elizabeth together.
Right.
Suddenly, Sam gets a text message from Amelia asking for his help. He drops everything to head back to Kermit right away, getting in Martin's car and driving away without him.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
Which, listen, some things are more important than this hunt. Totally agree. But don't leave the crazy guy in the woods.
I know.
At the very least, don't leave the guy who obviously needs, like, supervising
Yes.
alone in the woods.
Yes.
And take his car.
Yes. So he's got no other option.
Because when Dean escapes, the Impala's still fucking there. They took fucking his car.
Yeah.
So it's like, just be like, oh, Martin, I got a lead or
Yeah,
whatever.
come with
and
me.
Then, like anything, some stuff's more important than the hunt. I totally buy that. But like, Jesus.
Meanwhile, Dean and Benny infiltrate Desmond's hideout.
Yeah.
The vampire catches Dean by surprise and breaks his syringe of dead man's blood. Before he can bite Dean, Benny decapitates him.
Well, Desmond like scratches Dean's neck and there's blood and he's like, oh yeah, I like blood because I'm a vampire.
Mm-hmm.
And then, Benny cuts off his head and Dean gets up and Benny's like, they have a couple of jokey things that Benny's like, is that blood on your neck?
It's been a while since I tasted you.
Dean's like, not like this. And Benny's like, maybe just a little. And Dean's like, no. Benny's like, I've got this under control. He does, but it's clearly, work. Again,
Yeah.
I feel like Benny is playing this really well.
Totally.
Like this idea of the instinct, the nature, the addiction, however you want to kind of frame it. I think he plays it really well.
Which is funny because
Whatever that struggle is.
he doesn't feed on humans, but also he just got out of purgatory where he was able, and he mentions this, he's like able to go fucking bug nuts. Like,
Well, and there wasn't the hunger
yeah.
purgatory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Afterwards, Dean tells Benny that he needs to go deep underground. It's only a matter of time before other hunters show up in Karen Crow.
Yeah.
They head
And he
back.
goes like, either they all show up and they're too much for you and they kill you, or they're not too much for you and you kill them and we still have a problem.
Yeah.
So it's like, you got to get out of here, man.
They head back to the diner so that Benny can see Elizabeth one last time.
Yeah.
And then he thanks Dean for believing in him and leaves town.
Yeah.
Dean leaves too and calls Martin from the road.
This episode did legitimately trick me.
Yeah.
'Cause I was like, we've wrapped it all up.
Yep.
Here we go. That's been 40 minutes. I was like, wait a minute.
Uh-oh. He calls Martin from the road to tell him that he and Benny killed the other vampire and that he shouldn't go after Benny. Martin says that he's already left town, and Dean tells him to find a new line of work before hanging up. Martin's lying, though, and his next call is to Benny using Elizabeth's phone. Benny tells him to leave Elizabeth alone, and Martin tells Benny that he has 45 minutes to get back to Karen Crow.
Yeah, and then, we keep, she comes around and Martin's eating like a cherry pie, but it looks like blood and stuff. And she goes to take it. He grabs her wrist too tight. He goes, "Oh no, I'm not done my pie yet. Thanks for letting me borrow your." Benny's still on the line. He's like, "Thanks for letting me borrow your phone. I'm so clumsy sometimes. Anyway, I'm almost done." And
he plays it almost sane, but
he plays it
crazy in a different kind of way.
He plays it competent but unhinged.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I think it's a good choice, because to this point we've kind of gotten more like he's crazy.
Well, yeah, he's just like he's barely holding anything together.
And crazy's fine.
Yeah.
But he's a hunter. He was a contemporary of John's, and I like that there's this element of like, oh, he knew exactly what to do, and he did it very easily. You know, like he's not struggling, he's not off his game. What's off is any sort of like moral compass or direction or like.
But also, the deeper into the hunt he gets, the more like on top of it he is.
Yes.
Like, this is the most sane he seemed, even though it's really unhinged what he's doing.
Totally.
But he feels very competent.
Yes. And sure, like, he's not doing the twitches, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah, exactly.
He's, you're right. It's very unsettling. I mean, if we were to take this episode a lot further, it really says something about hunters.
Totally.
You know?
Absolutely. He rushes back to the diner to find Martin holding Elizabeth hostage. She's tied to a chair and has a knife to her neck. I did notice something in this. Like, the knife was constantly not blade to her neck. It was the back of the knife to her neck the whole time, which I thought was an interesting move.
Well, but I think that's what you would do in stagecraft anyway. But B, I think that's what he would do, because you don't, like, he could, like, there's still the back of the blade. Like, he could still hurt her. But he also doesn't want to, like,
kill
accidentally.
Her. Sure.
I mean, theoretically, although, like, even that is slightly in question.
Yeah.
But, no, I mean, you're not wrong. But
I wonder, if it was a choice, like, to be like, oh, I don't want to kill this person.
I also don't necessarily think the back of a blade like that is not sharp.
Oh,
like, I think maybe down near the bottom it might be, but, like, once it gets to the top, I think that might come together again.
I actually don't know.
I'm not sure either.
When he realizes that Elizabeth doesn't know who Benny really is, he cuts her neck so that Benny's fangs descend, and reveals that he's a monster and her great grandfather.
Yeah.
Benny asks Martin what he wants, and he tells him that he wants his head.
Yeah.
He puts his head down.
And he's like screaming. He's like, "Show her you're a monster!"
And he doesn't, which is good.
Yeah.
He like.
Benny gets the fangs back in,
but not facing her.
Yeah,
and turns back around when they're gone back, and tells Elizabeth that he's sorry, and puts his head on the counter just before Martin raises his machete, and you hear her scream.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Sam's been able to reach Amelia since her distress text. As he drives to Kermit, he remembers the moment Amelia confronted him as he packed his bags. She asked him why he was giving up on them, and he told her that he's trying to do the right thing.
What is this scene even? It was like, he, at the beginning of this day, he goes like, no, I know what the right thing to do is, but this is more important. I want this to be a thing. And
then he has like
and she goes, I agree. Then he talks to Don. He goes, I'm going to wait for Amelia to make her choice. That should, if anything, bolster Sam. But instead, Sam goes, I'll give up. I'll break her heart.
Because I guess the guy's a good guy. Like, I don't know.
I mean, barely. But just like, he's just like, it's the right thing to do. And she's like, but this morning it wasn't. And he goes, well, I don't know. Now I'm bored of this subplot.
Yeah.
I'm leaving.
Well,
and,
finally, welcome.
I mean, join the rest of us, Sam. Fuck. But it just, this scene is nothing. It doesn't make any goddamn sense.
And then Sam arrives in Kermit in current time, and goes right for Amelia's house. He sneaks around the back, gun raised, but when he looks in the window, he sees Don and Amelia happy together.
Yeah. So happy together.
He confused.
I just see him loving nobody but you, and I'm outside.
Whoa, that's good. He's confused, but after going to Martin's car, he seems to realize something. Dean driving away from Karen Crow in the Impala when he gets a phone call from Elizabeth, who seems to be in shock.
Yeah.
She reminds Dean that he told her to call if she saw Roy, and Dean asks if Roy is there. She just tells him to come, and Dean makes a quick U-turn back to the diner.
Yeah.
When he gets there, Elizabeth is covered in blood and sitting outside of the steps of the diner. Silently, he hands her a towel, presses it against the wound on her neck,
Yeah.
and then he goes inside where he finds more
And
blood.
there's like tables turned over. It's carnage, all this blood. And then who's dead on the ground? Martin, throat ripped out.
Yeah.
And you heard it here first. Good fucking riddance.
I mean,
You come for my boy Benny? You're going to get the fangs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You come for Benny, you getting Holland craze.
What?
Like Hollandaise. Benny.
Oh, okay.
Like an eggs Benny.
Do you know what? I like it.
Thanks.
Yeah.
It's good when you have to explain it.
Yeah.
So
Do you think that's his pickup line? Hey, how do you like your eggs? Benny?
or fertilized.
Well, that's not what I was
yeah,
riffing on.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You Benny them.
Oh, yeah. I'll give you my Hollandaise.
Yeah, I mean, we can circle back to that.
Thanks, man.
So patronizing.
Unbelievably. I get, yeah, sure. We can do that.
You know what, man? Sure.
Yeah.
You've earned it.
Yeah. It says more about me that I'm like, yeah.
I have earned it.
Later, Sam is at the bar in Kermit, and he pulls out his phone to call Amelia's text, where Amelia's text came from. When Dean answers, he's not surprised. He's like, it's a good move.
Yeah, he's like, when did you do that? And Dean was like, a while ago, just in case I had to. So
Fuck it.
Dean sent him on the
Classic
goose chase.
Batman.
I mean, God, he'd be such a good Batman.
I know.
I mean, he already is, but he'd be
I know,
so
but like
good.
live action, he could really play both sides so well. I know. He asked Dean admits that he did a while ago, and in case he needed to get something, stood Sam out of the way for something. Sam asks if the case is done, and Dean tells him that it is, but Martin's dead.
Well, he's like, it is, and Sam's like, casualties. He goes, Martin, and Sam's like, fuck.
Hey, Benny?
I put the unstable guy back in this. Now this feels like it's on me.
Truly.
That's very selfish of you, Dean,
He
to make my bad decision look like it's on me.
Yeah. Sam hangs up on him, stands to leave the bar. When he turns around, he sees Amelia.
Yeah, she's like, I knew that was you. It's like, don't go to the bar in Kermit.
Right?
Leave town.
Truly.
Get out of there.
That's the end of the episode.
Ugh. I'm going to say my one thing where I'm like, Dean, now you've broken the arrangement is like, Benny did kill Martin. I'm glad Martin's dead.
Yeah.
I'll say it again. I'm glad Martin is
Well, he
dead.
had to defend himself, though.
I know, but like, he ripped that guy's throat out. He was barely holding it together, looking at a little blood on Dean. Like, this is no bueno.
Yeah.
We kind of got to put Benny down, especially like as like Hunter community. Like this, although I guess Sam and Dean have killed Hunter. No, do you know what? Dean did nothing wrong. Fuck you, Sam.
That's sort of where I'm
No,
at.
you're right.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I would like my eggs fertilized. Hollandaise. Shit. Said the quiet part loud.
It's beginning to look a lot Fright Christmas. Shit.
Joke for the other podcast.
I don't care. It's all a crossover. We'll be back after this quick break. And we're back.
What's up?
Time for our reviews. What did you think?
I like a decent amount of this episode.
Yeah.
Benny is great.
Mhm.
And all of like all the emotions he's playing and like his relationship to Elizabeth, like they only are on screen together in that first scene. But you can see such a rapport and stuff, and I really like his stuff with Dean. I think he's great. I really think Martin's performance is good. You know,
Yeah.
what he's bringing to this episode, that kind of unstable, chaotic element.
Great.
But also, you know, like Dean and Sam were already outliers in the Hunter community for even associating with an angel, various demons, you know, like they have unlikely bedfellows, like for some reason this one is a bigger deal and Amy was a bigger deal, question mark.
Yep.
But it's not a surprise that other hunters don't get it, and especially hunters of a certain generation.
Sure.
So all of that stuff works really, really well. And what we know of Martin and the nerves and stuff like that makes for this really scary thing. Like the precision of how he lures Benny back is very frightening. And the setup now for Dean and Sam, their dynamic, if we just take as a given their perspectives on this, is good. What I don't get, again, is Sam's position on this. Like, being angry is one thing, but like your entire thing that you're angry about is based on the idea that you did believe monsters could change and Dean didn't.
Yeah.
He's come around to that. Too late, but he did. And so what do you want to do to even the scales? You want to kill his friend?
Yeah.
Like, it's so like unjust.
Yes.
It's I just
eye for an eye, which is ridiculous.
It's not Sam.
No.
Like, we shit on Sam and on like Jared in these episodes sometimes, but like Sam is a character with like fundamental principles and tenets and stuff, and this is like completely undermining.
He's Luke Skywalker, and this is not.
This does not make any goddamn sense. I think it's lunacy, and they keep going down this goddamn road, and I don't get it.
No.
And then to pepper in more like, and now she's in the modern time, and I said this last week, but I didn't even remember she was in this season until we started doing these episodes.
Me too.
And I was like, oh yeah, her. And then I was like, oh, she's in the modern time now too.
Yeah.
And we still didn't see what his year was.
Nope.
His supposedly normal life.
Yeah.
Which we never got to see.
Nope.
So like a lot of this suffers because of that. But some of the stuff at the heart of it is very, very good.
Yeah.
I probably would give this 3.75 eggs Bennied.
Less good than last week's.
I think last week's is just it had just a few more of the pieces that I like. Like, this is more dramatic, but I think last week just had a few more of those classic SPN kind of moments that I liked, and especially the trio dynamic of the boys and Cass. I was really into. My problem with this episode is we have this manufactured boys fighting problem, and we didn't have that last episode.
Yeah.
So I just don't like that. So like, I guess it's being played well, but it's not good. It doesn't make sense, and I don't like it. So yeah, I'm gonna say 3.75, almost entirely on the strength of Benny and Martin.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with you. And I think that puts me in an awkward position because I don't. In some ways, I like this episode more than last week's, but that's only just because the flashbacks last week were so much worse.
I mean, I guess these ones felt like they were more meaningless. The last ones just sucked.
There was just so much more, it felt.
I guess, yeah.
This feels like there was less this week.
Yeah, no, you're probably right.
And so I think that's part of it for me, which is like, they were dumb, but at least we were like, felt like we're heading out of it. I don't even know, but it felt like there was less of it, and so it bothered me.
I mean,
less.
it is really disheartening to be like, well, we're definitely at the end of these flashbacks, and then she shows up in like real time, and you're like, no.
Yeah, we're done with the flashbacks because it's in our life now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's exhausting, and so I think that I really love Benny in this. I love the Louisiana vibe. I think
it's fun.
Yeah, Martin's so good in this. I think everybody is doing a good job acting in this.
And I think it's like legitimately creepy, scary, some of that stuff with Martin.
Oh, totally.
You know?
And I think that even the flashback performances are good, even though I don't like them.
Sure.
I think like they make sense and they're actually like interesting concepts, even though the writing does get a little bit bad in the second half of the flashbacks.
Sure.
I overall enjoy this episode slightly more than last week's, but barely.
Okay.
So I think it's gonna have to be 3.5 5.
All right.
Delicious cherry pie.
Oh, very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice. Well, she's my cherry pie.
I mean, yeah. Well, those were our reviews. But before we go, we've got a note from a fellow hunter.
All right.
With the subject, gene folding.
Okay. That's where, right. Whatever, just the bit of your gene that is showing is the bit that presents itself?
Nope.
Like,
Hey guys.
Oh, you mean like jeans? Like folding jeans?
Hey guys, just wanted to let you know an additional method of gene folding.
God damn it.
I hold them up at the waistband and fold them in half, and then bring up the ankles to the waist. Then I bend them in half one more time, and there you go, folded. Just wanted to add to the knowledge base. With love from your awfully disgusting Manitoba, Corey.
I mean, that is the Manitoba of notes, I would say.
I knew what gene folding is, eh?
I mean, listen. Kudos. Pretty funny joke.
It's not bad. I don't hate it.
It was good.
All right.
Here's the craziest part. You said gene folding, and I was about to say, like the pants, and I was like, oh, no, wait. It's a real thing.
We talked about it.
I also had the instinct for that joke, but I thought better of it.
Well, you're not from Manitoba.
I just wanted to make sure everyone knows that I thought better.
Yes. You're not from Manitoba, though you love to get Winnipeg.
I don't know.
Wow, that was too honest of a response.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the comedy ran out.
Yeah.
Something happened.
Oh, honey, that happened years
Is it after
ago.
midnight or my power's gone?
Well, let's continue this discussion on our Discord.
Go to
Patreon.com/ghostfacers.
Thank you. It's only $1 a month. It gives you access
Your
to
brain stop
Angel
working too?
Radio, our community Discord server. It's fun, and we are there, and it is support for us.
Also, if you have a note about a past or future episode, we can also do a third episode. You want to be like Corey? Of course you want to be like Corey. Send us an email at ghostfacerspodcast@gmail.com or reach out to us through our various social media platforms.
Ghostfacers Pod on Facebook and Instagram.
There you go. Don't forget to subscribe on whatever platform you get us on. And while you're there, why don't you give us a 5-star review, and we will read that on a future episode. Also, if you want to get your eggs bennied, buy your Louisiana's Finest t-shirt.
Yeah,
at Ghost
but the
Facers.
picture is Benny taking Dean from behind.
I mean, I do have a reference photo.
I mean,
You're not that far from Benny.
I know, but that's... No, do you know what? That is how it would go.
Yeah. Just take the glasses off. We're good to go.
Insane that that's hanging on your wall.
Ghostfacers Podcast Store.com, or maybe you like what you hear today and you want a little bit more, something that's a little bit similar but a little bit different. Check out
Pretty
Dr.
vague.
Dr. DC.
Go to the Dr. DC podcast. We talk about superheroes and DC Comics. We answer listener questions. And if you like the way that we talk about lore and things over here, you might like the way that we talk about superheroes and comic books over there.
And vampires and undead and all
we talk
those
about
things.
all sorts of stuff.
Especially this month.
Well, not by the time this comes out.
Sure. That's fair. This week's computers.
No. By the time this comes out, we're into November.
Oh. Fair.
Yeah.
A few weeks ago was computers.
Last week. So we didn't record that many episodes.
I don't know where
You're
we are.
overcorrecting.
Who am I? Say goodbye, bitch.
Jerk.
This was a Brain Freeze podcast.